Ufology Glossary, Ancient Astronaut Theory. Welcome to the Ufology Glossary playlist. The topic of interest is ancient astronaut theory in this video. Ancient astronauts or ancient alien theory infers a set of beliefs, also within the proximity to the Paleo contact hypothesis, that affirms intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited Earth and made contact with humans in antiquity and prehistoric times. Proponents of the theory suggest that this contact influenced the development of modern cultures, technologies, religions, and human biology. A common position is that deities or gods from most religions are extraterrestrial in origin, and that advanced technologies brought to Earth by ancient astronauts were interpreted as evidence of divine status by early humans. The ancient astronaut theory proposes that in the distant past extraterrestrials came to planet Earth where they altered the hominidae DNA to perfect a species that could serve their purposes. They had specific goals of mining for precious metals they required. The theory also proposes that these ancient astronauts sought DNA samples from early hominids to sustain and adapt their species. Over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, these extraterrestrials were involved in the development of human cultures. Proponents of the ancient astronaut hypothesis repeatedly support the theory that humans are either descendants or creations of extraterrestrial intelligence (ETI). In ancient times where ancient astronauts acted in a so-called mother culture. Some ancient astronaut proponents believe ancient astronauts or spacemen helped and built many of the structures on Earth. Various terms are used to reference claims about ancient astronauts. These include 1. Ancient aliens, 2. Ancient ufonauts, 3. Ancient space pilots, 4. Sky people, 5. Star people, 6. Alien gods, 7. Ultra-terrestrial beings, 8. Transdimensional entities, angels, devas, asuras. Evidence for the extraterrestrial involvement points towards alleged pyramids of Antarctica, ancient Baghdad batteries, Ark of the Covenant, Baalbek in Lebanon, Book of Ezekiel, crystal skulls, Easter Island, face on Mars, Machu Picchu in Peru, many out-of-place artifacts that do not fit into traditional history. Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan, Nazca Lines geoglyphs, Ramayana Hindu texts, ruins of Puma Punkyu, Sacsayhuaman, Stonehenge, Sumerian tablets, Superhenge, temple at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey's Anatolia region, Teotihuacan, the Egyptian pyramids, the Paracas skull, myths and legends cross-culturally. Eric von Daniken, whose 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods, inspired a TV movie and paved the way for research into artifacts he believed were constructed by ancient aliens or our ancestors who had help from extraterrestrials. The ancient astronaut theory was also proposed by Immanuel Velikovsky, whose 1950 book, Worlds in Collision, put forward the idea of the electronic universe. The book suggests that the plagues in Egypt and the parting of the Red Sea were not a result of miracles. It was suggested in this book that events in the Old Testament of the Bible, the story Moses and the plagues, were natural occurrences arising from the proximity of another planet that came close to the Earth. Its magnetic pull affected life on Earth. Curiously, in academia, a Dr. Ellis Silver wrote that humans are not from Earth. Human physiology anomalies were discussed in his work. Ellis Silver's book Humans Are Not From Earth, a scientific evaluation of the evidence, arises conclusions about human origins from observations of evolutionary design. Bad backs and sunburn suggest humans did not evolve alongside other life on Earth and that in fact humans were dropped off on Earth by aliens. He suggests that Earth might even be a prison planet, since humans are naturally a violent species and unsuitable to be amongst civilized aliens. Dr. Ellis Silver's biography is very interesting. He is a contactee holding a doctorate in ecology with emphasis on water ecosystems. Dr. Silver gives several reasons for humans as adapted and seeded by extraterrestrials. The most curious reason is that the human rhythmic cycle is not 24 hours. Scientists and researchers consider this, and he is correct about 25 hours as natural rhythm. He believes that many of our problems stem from the simple fact that our internal body clocks have evolved to expect a 25-hour day. This has been proven by sleep researchers. But the Earth's day is only 24 hours. This is not a modern condition. The same factors can be traced all the way back through mankind's history on Earth. Dr. Silver does not suggest one answer, but a possibility that early pre-humans such as Homo erectus were crossbred with another species. Additionally, he suggests several possible origins, including Alpha Centauri. Mankind is supposedly the most highly developed species on the planet, yet is surprisingly inept, unsuited, and ill-equipped for Earth's environment. We are harmed by sunlight, a strong dislike for naturally occurring raw foods, absurdly high rates of chronic disease, and much more. Lastly, perhaps more importantly, there is a feeling among many people that they don't belong here or that something just isn't right. So, the simple question put forward by ancient astronaut theorists and other researchers is, were humans seeded on Earth by extraterrestrials gods? Numerous proponents have claimed ancient aliens, gods or ultra-terrestrials have existed in the past and may have influenced our evolution in the cosmic pasts before modernity. Classic books are to be listed, and proponents of ancient astronaut theory in chronological order are as follows. 1919, Charles Fort book, The Book of the Damned. Charles Fort is said to be the father of ufology. the magazines named the 14 influences had significant research in topics such as cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrial life. 1953. Desmond Leslie book, Flying Saucers Have Landed. 1956. Morris K. Jessup book, UFO in the Bible. 1960. Brinsley Trench book, The Sky People. 1965. Robert Charuk book, The Gods Unknown. 1968. Eric von Daniken book, translated as Chariots of the Gods. 1969. Jacques Vallée book, Passport to Magonia, From Folklore to Flying Saucers. 1974. Charles Berlitz book, The Bermuda Triangle. 1976. Robert K. G. Temple book, The Sirius Mystery. 1977. John Philip Kahane book, Paradox, The Case for the Extraterrestrial Origin of Man. 1978. Zachariah Sitchin book, The 12th Planet. 1993. David Icke book, And the Truth Shall Set You Free. 1996. Richard C. Hoagland book, The Monuments of Mars, A City on the Edge of Forever. 1999. David Hatcher Childress book, Technology of the Gods, The Incredible Science of the Ancients. 2009. Giorgio Sokolos et al., David H. Childress, and various other ancient astronaut theorists on TV, Ancient Alien series. Finally, I shall propose top 10 arguments for the ancient astronaut theory. It is up to the viewers, skeptics and researchers to debunk the clear logical arguments put forward by numerous ancient astronaut theorists and various related researchers in the field of ufology. The Pyramids of Giza. Science cannot explain that there is a perfect alignment with true north, in respect to the placement of the Great Pyramid, the biggest one in the Egyptian site located precisely to true north. The base of the pyramid is equal to 2 pi times the pyramid's height. This therefore hints to knowledge of pi before Pythagoras. The other strangest fact is that on specific months of the year from an aerial perspective the Great Pyramid is seen for its real shape. From above it is not a true pyramid shape. One side from an aerial perspective is slightly more slanted or titled and convex. Such precision is impossible for Bronze Age civilizations if that was their intention. Massive limestone blocks transported miles away without wheels is problematic. Moreover, if the calculations are correct, it would have taken them longer than the commonly held claims about how long it took them to build the Great Pyramid. Egyptians would have cut, transported, and placed the one stone block every 90 seconds. So this implies a working timetable of only 24 hours a day for 22 years. Construction experts know that this is an impossibility. Logic suggests humans, Homo sapiens, actually founded pyramids as they are, when they migrated towards those fertile lands. To say it was made in 22 years is actually not even close to possible. How or why did Bronze Age civilization move 2.5-ton blocks with such mathematical precision, using primitive tools to cut, lash and wheel them into place? The ancient astronaut theorists say that the pyramids were not tombs, but rather energy generators or perhaps even landing areas for celestial visitors. There are speculative models rendering different chemicals utilized in the shafts of the pyramids for unknown purposes. Nobody truly knows the purposes of the pyramids. Yes, they definitely generate energy, but what is it for, or the purpose? Number 2. The Quimbaya airplanes in Colombia. The gold figurines found in Colombia dated back to 500 to 800 CE. They are shaped unmistakably like modern jet planes, complete with wings, tails, fins and fuselages. Engineers recreated the figurine at 5x scale and it flew. Were these real flying vehicles seen by the peoples or misinterpreted as spiritual symbols? Number 3. Dropa stones controversy. Science cannot explain what these metallic stone-like discs are, and the implications of the message it portrays rewrites history and indicative of our Anthropocene historicity is incomplete. Discovered in the 1930s in a remote Chinese cave system, these 300 or more stone discs had a hole inside in each disc, containing allegedly microscopic spiral inscriptions telling a story of beings who came from the stars. It raises questions as scientists had proof of alien contact in the 1930s until the story was completely suppressed. Some say the discs are locked away entirely or in some private collections. One has to ask why the research into the Dropa stones is hidden, suppressed, and forbidden. Number 4. Puma Punku, the ruins in Bolivia. Located in Bolivia, this megalithic site contains granite and diorite stones cut with such precision, it appears as if extremely precise tools were used. The cuts are often 90 degrees angles, interlocking joints and drill-like boreholes that seem impossible with copper tools. It raises questions about lost tech, aliens, and even time travelers. Diorite is so hard it cannot be cut with copper tools, yet the site is claimed to be at least 1,000 years old. Some claim it may even predate the biblical flood and is around 10,000 or more years old. Thus it may be a pre-flood antediluvian site. How did such precision exist thousands of years ago? Is this really possible? Number 5. The Vimanas of ancient India. Sanskrit is the original texts of India. In Sanskrit the real name for the country India is Bharata, part of earth, and earth is translated to be Humandala. The epic tales in the literature of the Ramayana, Mahabharata and others, describe vehicles called Vimanas. These flying machines in the most epic tales suggest battles in the sky and weapons resembling modern bombs or even lasers. It indicates that if myths are living and true in their tales, that the gods of India are extraterrestrials. One curiosity is defining where they are actually from in outer space. Some speculate that Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva and architect Brahma, the three major deities in Hindu myths, reside in the Orion star system, although it is not inferred in their texts as far as we know. The epic texts reveal fuel types, such as ion drive propulsion, aerial maneuvering, the use of electricity, and advanced high-tech weapons. Are these mythological metaphors, or could they be literal accounts of technology that gods had in their possession in the remote past? Number 6. Göbekli Tepe, the temple buried underground. Discovered in the 1990s, Göbekli Tepe is allegedly a 12,000-year-old megalithic site built before agriculture, the wheel or writing systems. It raises questions and we shall explore them. Firstly, the carvings include zodiac symbols, strange animals, and astronomical knowledge. This is apparently from a time period when humans were supposedly still hunter-gatherers. A few researchers suggest the site was built to commemorate a comet strike or celestial event. Most ancient astronaut theorists say that the messages were made for us in the future by whomever built this megalithic site. Moreover, there is a relic of an astronaut found in Göbekli Tepe site that nobody mentions in their theories about ancient aliens. This shows to the extent to which things remain hidden from the mass populace. But stay tuned to the Ufology Glossary to connect the dots in the next video. Out of place artifacts, parts, as we explore shared themes across continents, cultures and millennia. Number 7. Mesoamerican Pyramids. The Mesoamerican pyramids viewed from above in Google Earth or any other atlas software hints to something so extraordinary it defies our understanding of engineering. William Godory's findings were mesmerizing enough to find itself in Ancient Alien TV series. When all the Mesoamerican pyramids are dotted and plotted on a map of the Americas, it actually makes 22 star constellations corresponding to the ancient 22 Mayan cities and monuments and one yet undiscovered constellation which they call Kayak Kyr, the mouth of fire. If William's study is accurate, the missing Mayan city would be located in a remote coastal location in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Passionate about the Mayan civilization, William Godory, 15 years of age, used Geographic Information System (GIS) to interpret satellite imagery, finding that the shape of 22 constellations corresponds with the position of 117 Mayan cities. But he moved even further, studying an extra, 23rd constellation. This constellation connected 3 stars, but only 2 cities were discovered. If the pattern is respected, then the third city must also exist, and he calculated its position. He named this lost city Kayak Kyr, or Fire Mouth. The question it raises is, would a Bronze Age civilization be able to build these monuments including pyramids and entire cities without an aerial view? How would Mesoamericans in the ancient past have acquired an aerial view to plot where to build these cities and pyramidical monuments? In what timeframe would they have built these 23 Mayan cities and how many people or tools are required? Number 8. Archaeoastronomical, celestial and geomagnetically aligned sites. The various monuments align to the previous geomagnetic poles according to logical conclusions after numerous research attempts and an algorithm designed to track specific monuments to previous geomagnetic poles. How is this possible in prehistoric times? Moreover, the claims are made that number of monuments and historical sites aligned before the flood ranging from 100,000 to 50,000 years ago and then to around 10,000 BCE. Number 9. UFOs and abductions cases. After studying ufology for several years, I have come to realize most abductions cases are emphasized in a negative tone. However, there are a few cases in healing occurring during some abductions. This is rare, but well documented in literature. This hints to a deeper epistemic pursuit of finding the good aliens and the bad actors in outer space, thus one should be cautious either way if encountering a UFO in the night sky. Close encounters of the first kind to the third kind are too many to list, it would be too exhaustive. We all know this in ufology and the list is endless in close encounters of the first kind to second kind. The rarity of close encounter goes up to close encounter of the fifth kind when communication occurs telepathically or a message is visually portrayed in the minds of the abductee. Stay tuned for the video classification systems, where I discuss the categories of close encounters, strangeness ratings, daylight sightings, DS classifications and much more. Number 10. The strange crop circles in the fields. Most people are not aware that the subject of Cereology is a real multidisciplinary subject. Cereology is the study of crop circles found worldwide, but it goes beyond attempting to understand the technology of the alleged aliens. Crop circles is mathematics on steroids and goes beyond our temporal zone. It indicates future mathematics extending from Euclidean geometry and much more. The precision, geometry, patterns and hidden messages hint to a deeper ontological framework we must consider in the future. It is a triune paradigm where both technology, biology and synthetics meshed together has perhaps created beings with hypercircuitry and abilities beyond ordinary humans. Stay tuned for my crop circles video where I introduce the ontological framework for the beings that make crop circles, specifically focusing on telepathy, telekinesis and teleportation, the 3 T's of cyborgism. In summary, there appears to be shared myths, unexplained technologies, architectural impossibilities, impossible glyphs, crop circles and scriptures from holy texts cross-culturally. While ancient astronaut theorists don't clearly depict aliens in their ontological bipedal statures, phylogenetic skin pigmentation or epistemic inner workings of their ontology or even real-life photographs, it seems probable by some people in the UFO community that these species are undoubtedly different to humans. Moreover, the study of color theory and alleged non-terrestrials indicates phylogenetic skin pigmentation divergences across the galaxy. One may wonder and be paradoxically perplexed and amazed at such complexity in alien imagery online, but realistically we only have images of gray aliens or Wriggleians, but such images are hidden and rare. I must emphasize that they may speculatively exist in a nonlinear way due their advancement is cybernetics, synthetic biology, mechanical evolution, thus rendering them in higher densities or planes of existence. One could surmise they transcended their physical bodies either through mind upload or other biological means that remain totally unknown to us on Earth. An alien could be watching us in spiritual forms and we would have no way to detect them. It sort of reminds me of out-of-body experiences taken to extremes. Anyhow, I shall discuss densities and holographic theory of the universe in more videos such as reincarnation, astrobiology and the soul bioenergetic field in relation to ufology. Thank you for watching and have a great day.